Hello, Lisa Richard here with Loving Energy Recharge. Welcome to Inner Alchemy. Inner Alchemy is a blend of the teachings of human design, the gene keys, and incorporating some tools as a more than existing Lightworker coach. As we are moving into the energy for September the 3rd all the way through to the 8th, we are stepping into what is known in the teachings of human design as gate number 64, diverse possibilities. Now, this is also in the season of Virgo. The sun is in Virgo right now, so we are receiving a lot of the properties of that planet as it is closest to the sun. So we're getting what is known in the teachings of human design as an influence through the neutrino stream. And imagine for a moment what that really means is the planet closest to the sun is providing energy that would look like dust particles. These are known as neutrinos. It is a scientific term. You can look it up if you are curious. But this is also bringing us beyond the need to prove things. So imagine for a moment that you're always walking through an information field. We are in a planet of Earth that is floating in this vast universe and constantly being influenced from what is happening up at a planetary level. So we're always in a program of sorts that is stimulating our cellular DNA to help self-actualize, to evolve our human species, and essentially to allow the light that is in each and every one of us to break free of its constrictive nature as we were born into this world of duality. So there's a lot of things going on, and we want to look at the concept of being in Virgo season as really embracing that as a earth element. So this is a call to be in our earthly bodies, to be in our physical body. This is also in the sixth house of health. So it stimulates things such as how we do our routines, our daily tasks, looking after our physical health and well-being, and really moving us into things like employment and careers and where we would use our life force energy in terms of supporting the whole. Now, as we're stepping into the gate 64 diverse possibilities between September the 3rd and the 8th, we are also branching that out into the body of teaching known as the gene keys to look at our potential for our own alchemy transmutions. Now, this is where we are introduced to the shadow component that is at work, our dilemma, which is our learning opportunity, the gift in here, which is the gift of imagination, and learning to embody the highest aspect of light that is afforded to us during this time, which is illumination. Now, I really want to start with bringing our awareness to gate 64, being at the very end of the book of the gene keys, the book of the teachings of human design, literally reaching the end of the story. So this could be the story of our life. This could be the story of our human evolution. This is the awareness that we have 64 codon strains within our cellular DNA. So this is also at the end of the DNA strands. Now, as we know, there's endings and beginnings. So everything is always circular in motion when you're looking at energy, and nothing truly ends. There is diverse possibilities, unlimited possibilities for things to continue to expand. So you may be going through a period of time right now where you're coming to a completion of a cycle in your own personal journey. And if you break through that, if you receive the illumination of what you have been going through and the teachings of that, and removing your own shadow of confusion through allowing yourself to imagine all of the different possibilities and potentials that exist through what it was that you have been challenged to learn during that time. And maybe to really rock your own boat and rock your routine to see, well, how set in stone and rigid are you in holding yourself to a set schedule? Feeling those illusions of safety that come when we try to plan our lives, only to have some very real realization and maybe some interruptions to your journey to help you self-actualize and become aware that we really have very little control over what is happening within our world and within our planetary nature. So as we start to awaken, as we start to really come into questioning everything, questioning and contemplating and just feeling this sense within self of wanting to spend more time discovering and exploring and really kind of feeling that state of confusion for ourselves, because things in the world, they just don't make sense. And that really starts then the process for your own awakening, your deeper sense of going within you, of learning to come out of the mind and not think your way into existence and think yourself into creation, but to drop into the heart, the high heart, in order to allow yourself to feel and connect through the listening of that heart coherence, to really understand and become a part of this ever-evolving universe that is around us. So we're really being asked during this time frame to look at your areas of confusion, to embrace confusion as an awareness of these are your guidance systems towards areas of your life that you are being asked to really contemplate and to hold within your heart space to allow for a breakthrough moment. So it's reminding yourself that we tend to distract ourselves from what is uncomfortable. We tend to distract ourselves from feeling like we're not in control and we're not safe and we don't know all the answers and all those unknown aspects of life. So we really hold on tightly to consistency. And consistency often is how we think of things, because we all have a program that we have developed for ourselves. And gate 64 is up in the head center of human design. So you can check your chart to see if this is quite dominant as one of your gates, if it's circled in there. And really kind of realizing for yourself how we rely on our mind to make our decisions. And we have a very consistent way of moving through what we decide we're going to do, how we're going to do it, how we're going to plan things out. And because we are in September and a lot of people are getting ready to go back to school, back to work, start some projects, shifting into fall routines, there is a global tendency to want to plan more around this time and want to organize more around this time. I just got in my throat that, oh, I'm tired of that organizing. Old life, old patterns. The body just feels that, oh, don't really like to do that anymore. Now, that is necessary to some degree because we do have a human responsibility to move through our jobs and our families, and there are places where routines and schedules are going to help you. This is really about looking at those areas where, are you just doing the same program over and over again, and there's no life to it, there's no happiness to it, no joy to it. It is often causing a confusion of, well, how am I even going to fit all these moving pieces into the schedule. And last week, we really moved into the shadow of exhaustion to help us get really clear on what we were trying to do that was beyond our energy reserves, how we were falling into a pattern of trying to be so independent and I can do this and I can prove it and I can take this on, only to feel really depleted of energy by the end of the day. So if you haven't watched last week's video, I really do encourage you to go back to listen to that channel message. All of these activations are piggybacking off of each other. So this is a continuation of the energy, of the influences, and it's really up to us as individuals to allow them to move through us and to flow through us in order to bring our attention towards what is really needed in terms of change so that you can live your best life, so that you can be very healthy and really feeling like you are connected to your human in this earthly journey. So really looking at how that need for consistency, which also can show up as control, rigidness, having everything all nicely planned and laid out, and God forbid the weather should change and that sweater you picked out for the day is now too hot, or vice versa. You know, how we're affected by these things that are naturally happening when we feel like, but I didn't know that was coming. I don't know how I'm going to fit that into my schedule. I don't know where I'm going to find the pace for that and the time for that. And that wasn't according to my plan. So we're always spiraling back into this confusion of how do I figure this out? Now, that is where you're being encouraged to grow this week, because it's not about the I, the little self, the little micro and the macro view of humanity. It is allowing yourself to branch into the higher awareness of using your imagination to self-actualize that even though things are not going according to your plan, what if there's a greater plan? What if there are diverse possibilities? What if you are being led down a road that you may not have considered for yourself, but it's going to open up all these doors to unlimited ways for you to really engage with life, and in so doing, illuminate the light within your body. So gate number 64 also helps us to cultivate more light within. So look at that as the light within every cell, every nucleus within that cell. And the more you are present with you, the more that you're really honoring, what does my high heart want to do? How do I want to connect to life and to living, and really listening to those subtle energies around you, learning ultimately to empty yourself out in order to be filled with illumination, to be filled with light, to be filled with higher guidance, to see, just like you would to stare up at the night sky and look at all the stars, the realization that there is so much more than what we can see and what we do know. And there is worlds upon worlds of possibilities and potentials. So some of you are going to be really stimulated to take a quantum leap in your own self-actualization, your own conscious awareness. And that really comes from learning to relax your thoughts and empty that out to come into your heart space. So reminding yourself of the need for relaxation and the need for slowing down and engaging in those activities that help you feel more grounded, more present, more concentrated on your higher vibrational frequencies. The shadow of confusion is a low vibration. It is going to keep you trapped down in the doom and the gloom and the dull and the mundane, unless you allow yourself to embrace that you are feeling confused and to reach up and out to ask for the help and the guidance from your support team. Now, where is your support team? Well, as I'm looking into this screen doing the recording, I'm seeing all this space around me. And perhaps if you put up a hand, you're going to notice all this space around you too. Well, we can't see the air. We can't see the space. We can't see what is in all of this possibility. We know maybe 5% of our world. So think even in your mind, we only use about 5% of our imagination, of our brain's capacity. So in all this unseen and unknown, well, that is your support team. That is your imagination. That is your illumination. Those are your breakthrough moments. So in order to allow that to penetrate and come in, we have to rise our vibrational frequency to embody the joy, the wonder, the curiosity, the willingness to shatter all of our own beliefs and all of our opinions and all of our perceptions of reality, to then empty out, to be filled up. So imagine that in, let's say, the business world, and you are asked to do some brainstorming. You're asked to help contribute your ideas towards a project and how that project can come into form. Well, coming from the corporate world, working in post-secondary, having a beautiful opportunity to support executives and senior management and presidents of organizations, I was witness to a lot of those brainstorming activities. And it is a beautiful unfolding when you see the one who is courageous enough to think outside the box and go, you know, what if we tried something different and allowed it to explore in this area? Now, 9 times out of 10, because this is human nature, and deep down we are actually afraid to change. A lot of times what happens is other people go, oh no, we can't do that. That's not how we've always done it. That's not our direction. That's going to take a lot of work. It's instantly shut down. Now, we do that to ourselves all the time. We limit our capacity to use the mind and the gift of thinking for its ability to create diverse possibilities. So let's move back to that scenario of brainstorming. And I know of other individuals who have such a gift and an ability to literally be given a topic and they can brainstorm and write down so many different ways of using that one certain ingredient to create things or to bring things to life. And the secret to that is by not judging it, not limiting it, not saying that that is silly, that's impossible, that's too hard, that's too easy, that'll never work. Eliminating all of that confusion and just embracing the art of what if. Allowing it to come through you as an expression of art, of poetry, of music, of creation itself. And this is where we see it as part of the channel of abstract thinking. And we're going to be in this energy for a little while because next shift, from the 9th of September onwards, we're going to pop over to the opposite side of this channel to see it from another perspective. So you're going to be in this flow of this channel of abstract thinking for a little while. And this is your opportunity to really start embracing life through color and texture and sound and vibration and feeling and all those other sometimes forgotten components, because we've been taught to live in our head and to stay consistent with our thinking and to follow the status quo and to conform to what the majority wants to do. Well, what if? What if you decide that this week you're going to color outside the lines? What if you're going to decide that, you know what, I'm not going to color in the sky blue, because truth is, it's actually every color but blue. Now, that in itself can be a moment of realization to kind of stimulate that confusion. What do you mean it's not blue? My eyes see blue. I've been told it was blue. Well, I dare you to actually look that up. And perhaps you will find that they have done studies. They've proven this through science, because faith isn't enough, that our eyes have filters in our lenses that when we see in color, what is reflected back to us is actually everything but the color we are perceiving. So do we really know our world? Do we really know what lies beyond our own perception of reality? So let us embrace the gift of our imagination. Let it inspire you to create, to move into your untapped potential. And you're going to know when you're there, because you're going to see your light. You're going to see it shining through your eyes. You're going to feel it in your voice. You're going to feel it in your presence. You will become illuminated. And you're illuminated because you are connecting to the higher vibrational energy that is helping you push and expand yourself out into the world. So don't block it. Don't get caught in a fear story that you have to eliminate all doubt, that you have to be assured of an outcome. Why not just embrace the experience and have fun with this beautiful gift of light that is really helping us to move and break through our own mind blockages, to consider, what if? What if? I am sending you all so much love. Namaste, which means the light in me sees the light in you. Take care, everyone.